The next 5-10 years, and I was talking to my wife about that. We're doing some financial planning a couple weeks ago, and it's like I don't ever see retiring. I don't want to just go fish and golf. That's a big misnomer. It's like there's some benefits, I get it, but I think we should be multi-generational, even in our home.
Wes Schaeffer is a U.S. Air Force veteran, business coach, keynote speaker, and sales strategist. With over 28 years in sales and 19 years coaching, he helps entrepreneurs grow businesses while bringing humanity back to marketing and leadership.
It's kind of sad. Like my father-in-law, his neighbors, my wife's the executive trustee for the neighbors. The husband died a year and a half ago. Now the wife just died early this month. So you're just surrounding yourself with death. It's brutal. It's a fact of life. I get it. But if everybody's kind of dispersed, every year you shouldn't go to 6 funerals. Go hang out, watch some kids, play with the dogs, volunteer at the HOA, bring some wisdom to the young kids.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Orn back with another episode of the Milpreneur podcast, sponsored by Synergist. Synergist is your scalable operations company that helps you grow exponentially faster at a fraction of the cost. Check them out at synergist.com. Today, I have Wes Schaeffer on with me today. Wes, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's a great day. So I'm really excited to learn more about your journey from the time in the military to what you're doing now. So are you ready to jump into it?
I'm ready.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about your military career, man. How did it all get started for you?
It got started because I was recruited to play football.
Okay.
Never really knew much about the academies, and way back in the 80s, I don't know if the rules have changed, but schools could start talking to you when you were a sophomore. So Annapolis, West Point, Air Force all paid a visit. And my coach was like, you should consider them. And I'm 15, 16 years old. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm like, okay. I'm just playing ball, going to school. I had good grades. So I'm like, okay. There's not much you can do, right? Like, I'll consider them. There was no internet back then. There's
right.
No Instagram stories. And it's a brochure. And, the coaches would stop by. And in my junior year, had a good year and things picked up. Now they can visit. It's cool when they tap on the window and, the dean of students, who was the head football coach, pulls you out of class so you go sit in the atrium. Everybody can see you, in the middle.
Yep.
Talking to coaches and, so that was it. Air Force was top of the food chain back then, 80s and 90s, and that's where I went and, did my 4 years there and then 5 years active duty.
Okay. So who was the coach of Air Force at that time?
Fisher DeBerry.
That's what I was going to bring up, was Fisher DeBerry on that. Yeah. So how was it playing in underneath him, during that time in the triple option and stuff like that?
It was good and bad. I was a defensive guy, so we were second-class citizens. He was a great guy, great coach, and we clashed a good bit. I ran a lot of laps. Growing up in Houston, and, one of my coaches, a lot of people don't know this, but Bear Bryant coached at Texas A&M before he was at Alabama.
Yeah.
And there's a little town in West Texas. It is still a nothing town called Junction. And it's where a couple of freeways come together and I-10. But there wasn't even an I-10 back then. But he would take the boys out to Junction, Texas, in this dirt field, rocks, and just punish them, in summer camp. And so one of my coaches was a running back for Bear Bryant at Texas A&M. There's a movie called The Junction Boys.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. So that was my coach, one of my coaches, and he was tough, and we were tough, man. We were hard-nosed, and it was funny. Like, we're at this little all-boy Catholic school, but, man, we produced a dude that drove me to school. He was a senior. I was a freshman. He was a starting offensive lineman at Arkansas. Another guy that played with him was, I think, he was a nose guard for UTEP. A guy, my peer, he was a starting linebacker for 4 years at TCU.
Wow.
The senior at Arkansas had a brother who was a year younger than me. He was my center. I played everything in high school: quarterback, punter, kicker, linebacker. But he was the starting center at USC back when Todd Maranovich was there.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of talent this little all-boy Catholic school was spitting out. And I played as a senior. I was 6'2", about 220. I was the smallest one of my buddies.
Wow.
Wow. We were I mean, looking back, like I had a concussion just during 2 days, but like you don't even know, man. Like I drove, we went to lunch, and I'm like looking, and I'm driving. I'm like,
I should not be driving
I'm
now.
missing exits and stuff, and then I'm telling the coach, like, man, my head like really hurts when. And I forget. I think it was okay when I was on defense, but like if I was running the ball, like that anticipation. So they're like, okay, just play defense. I mean, for like a week. I mean, it's like just crazy crap, man.
That's hilarious.
Scar. I was a freshman. I don't know if you kind of.
Yeah.
I was a freshman. I was a quarterback and broke my wrist. Didn't know it. It just hurt really bad. So, because as freshmen, we weren't very good. So they just taped it up, and I played defensive end. You know, 2 years later, I'm like, man, my wrist still hurt. I'm quarterback. Like, well, as a sophomore, I made it to varsity. I played linebacker. Then as a junior, I was quarterback on varsity. But my wrist always hurt. Finally got an X-ray, and I had broken my bone. There's a bunch of bones in your hands and wrists.
Yeah.
I had to do a bone graft, pull bone out of my forearm and pack it in. And we did it on New Year's Eve, 86. So so it was my junior year because my dad's insurance ran out the next year. And we had a guy, I had a couple of surgeries. One of them was from a guy at my school. His kid was on the team, and I don't know if that orthopedic was that one, but so I mean that's the kind of crap we did. And Fisher DeBerry, like he's the nicest guy. He doesn't cuss or anything, and man, I'm out there ripping face masks off and hitting guys for low blows, and we're fighting. He's like, "Take a lap, Schaeffer." All right, go.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's awesome.
I digress.
So you had your time in the military, you know, like, and then now you've made the change, and for the last almost 2 decades you've been business
Almost
coaching,
3.
business coaching and keynote speaking, stuff like that. So
Yeah. I
How-
started the Sales Whisperer in 06, but I got into sales in 97. So 28 years in selling and 19 years of coaching.
how do you think, like, do you feel like the military is kind of giving you that discipline to be able to stay so consistent and strong in what you do now?
Sure. Yeah, because it's hard. It's hard doing anything well is hard. I don't
Right.
care, and so. Like you said those Jodies, right? Ain't no sense in looking down. Ain't no paycheck on the ground.
Right.
It's like, suck it up, Buttercup. Oh, it's hard. Well, okay, quit. I mean, I don't know. Go work at McDonald's. We can go work at the post office.
Right.
Okay, it's hard. Great. If it was easy, then it wouldn't be an opportunity for you.
Right. And it so much is like, it's less about like actual motivation in sales and actually about discipline of like doing what you're supposed to do every day to generate more business, right?
Yeah, everything. You see all these guys, holding up the trophies in sports, whatever, but you don't see the hard work. Like the really good
Right.
ones, they put in a lot of time. Then the stories of Kobe Bryant are epic and Jordan, but I mean Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson. I mean, you name it, they're putting in a lot of effort.
Oh yeah.
And the things you don't see, and so it's I always say small hinges swing big doors. People are always looking for that silver bullet, but it's a bunch of little things done right over and over and over again. One of my sales training programs, I call it Make Every Sale. And the concept is to make any sale, you must make every sale. It's a bunch of little things.
Yeah.
It's like just like planning a mission. You got to get the refuelers. You got to get the attack. You got to get the air coverage. You got to get amphibious assault. You got to get satellites now in space. You got to get infantry. It's all got to come together.
Right.
If any one of them messes up, I mean, you can probably still be okay, but it's harder. If 2 of them mess up, people are going to die. I mean, so it's a lot of things that come in, and none of them are hard.
Right.
Bringing them all together at the right time, at the right place, that's magic.
I remember when I was deployed at the start of the war in 2003, Operation Enduring Freedom, and I'm standing in the base commander's office, and I'm just a little peon, like senior airman, and actually I think I was at A1C at the time. I didn't get promoted at the time until I got back home from being overseas. And he's like, yeah, no one knows we're here. They're like, shock and awe was happening like 3 days later. That whole period of like, we're just bombed the crap out of Iraq at the time. And he goes, no one knows we're here. That's a good and a bad thing. The bad thing is we have some carriers in the Red Sea just outside of Jordan, because we're at the corner of Saudi Arabia and Jordan there. And he goes, if they don't know we're here and they have one of those, we're going to light their shit up in a couple days. So we're going to see some sparks fly over the top of our heads. They need to know we're here. So like, can you get me talking to everybody like on the satellite phones and everything like this? That was my job, was combat communications. So it was, when you're talking about like that communication piece and making sure that all the plans come together, I definitely see that, as, and it's taught me so well to be understanding of like everybody's role in the mission in what business that you're building, man.
Yeah. Do you ever hear the story of the USS Indianapolis?
Tell me about it.
Dude, go look up that movie. They delivered the atomic bomb during World War II.
Okay.
And so
wow.
Nobody knew that. It was totally secret. They were not given an escort. They didn't want to draw any attention. So they dropped it off. They made it successfully. And the captain asked for an escort on the way back. And they denied him. They're like, look, nobody knows you're here, so like we can't give you an escort because then they'll know you were here, and then like now you're going back. Where'd you come from? Now they're going to look into it. This is too top secret, too critical. So on the way back, they were hit by a sub.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody knew they were there. And so the guys are just floating in the water, clear, calm Pacific waters, watching sharks just come up and eat them.
Oh, gosh.
They floated for days, and a guy like just accidentally sees them. Like,
oh my gosh!
3 days later, and they're finally go look up that movie, man.
I'll check it out.
You got to coordinate with your team.
Right.
Communication is key.
Yeah.
What a horrific scenario, man. Good
God.
Absolutely.
So now that you're in your company that you're in, like, how have you seen like business change over the years? Like, what's some of the biggest things that you've been seeing lately in like the last 5 or 10 years that have really taken precedence in your business?
Yeah, the biggest thing was COVID, the whole work from home, and now AI. It's a different world, man. People are harder to reach. We're taking the humanity out of sales.
Yeah.
So how you bring that back, it's hard. I'm going through it right now. I'm talking to people. I'm doing my own soul searching. Like, how do we make a difference today? How do you stand out? And I think, it's kind of like what's old is new. Like, even though people are harder to reach on the phone, you can still reach them on the phone.
Yeah.
You may have to leave more messages. But I've always said multimedia, multi-step. Leave a voicemail message, send an email, find them on social media, engage with them there. If it's a big enough prospect, mail them. Literally send them direct mail. I have envelopes with stamps, cards ready. I mailed them. I wrote a book. I've written a couple of books, but my one was on software. The sales was per way. So like, where's my camera? I keep forgetting where I moved my camera. I'll sign a copy. People don't realize, this book, and I got to update it. It's on my to-do list. It's almost 254 pages. It only costs like $5 to print. Or less, and buy them. And I can order one. I can order 100, and so that's cheaper than mailing a coffee mug,
right?
And people don't throw books away.
No.
So if they don't read it, I'm sitting on their shelf, kind of reminding them. So people say, "Well, I can't write a book." Yeah, you can. And that's a whole other topic we can get into. But it's easier than you think. But look, if you know enough that I should pay attention to you and take your call, reply to your emails, show up to a video meeting, take a demo of your product, if you know that much, then you can write a book. If you don't, if you don't know that much, then why are you even in sales?
Right.
So.
I love that mindset, man. So like, as you've grown your business, like, do you feel like there's been any unexpected opportunities that have like just came out of left field because of just, being consistent and always having those conversations?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's like they say, luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Right.
I've been flown to Europe to speak. I've made a lot of sales. People just, I've heard about you, like end of month, end of quarter, and they just show you. They call them a bluebird, right? They'll just show up and buy. People will click links. I remember one time, first time this happened. I mean, it was a long time ago, 2012, 13, somewhere in there. And I'd been selling the software for years, and I had a link on my website where you could pay for the setup, but usually it was a phone call and it was a demo, and we discuss it, and then I take their order over the phone or send them a link. But this woman, I was driving to Phoenix where the software company was. She says, "Hey, how do we get started?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Because I had the link just in case. And it sat there for like 5 years. Nobody ever clicked. Nobody just buys software without talking to somebody. Well, she had done the research, and she was ready to buy. And so I didn't even, and it was marketing automation software. I didn't even set up all the triggers because I'm like, that was a hard thing for me to learn, but I finally internalized it. Sell it first, then build it, right? So I didn't want to spend hours and hours and hours on some elaborate follow-up sequence on something that may not happen in years. And finally, so I wasn't notified. I got an email from my merchant account, but I have that turned off on my phone, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll check email when I want to check email. So I was like, hold on a second. I was driving, so I had to pull it up on my phone. I was like, then I had to play it off. Oh, yeah, I'm driving to a conference. Give me a couple hours. I'll get home. I'll send you some info. I'm like, holy crap. So, yeah, it works. You got to be visible. You got to be known for something. And too many people dabble. They sprinkle, they're an inch deep and a mile wide. I'm like, what do you do? Why do I come to you?
Yeah.
So, I pick on realtors a lot. My son's a realtor, but he's a good realtor because I raised him and trained him to be good at what he does. And, he is just a realtor, and now he's getting his mortgage license. But you see people all the time, oh, I'm a hairdresser, I'm a palm reader, I'm a balloon artist, I'm a realtor, Amway. Like, what? Come on. Why am I going to pick you over anybody else?
Right.
If you're just dabbling in everything.
Right.
You got to become fanatical to become great.
I totally agree on that. And you have to like your friends need to almost think that you're halfway crazy, because you're like,
yeah, your friends won't get it. You're not entrepreneurial friends. So you might get new friends over time, and you'll see the old friends less.
Yeah.
Because they're just trudging away in the 9 to 5. And look, there's not a right or wrong. Okay, if you're in a 9 to 5, be great at it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I spent a decade doing that. And sometimes I wish I'd never left. I mean, one of my good friends, he's an early mentor. He was always in corporate America, and he was, still is, like the number one salesman at one of the biggest software companies in the world. So he's arguably, the best salesperson in the world. The argument can be made. So he makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he also puts up with a lot of crap.
Yeah.
A lot of meetings he doesn't want to go to, HR briefings, and things that I was just not wired to handle.
Nope.
Here I am, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Man, I love that. So, it takes a different breed to be the entrepreneurial side because, we have to develop all the processes, all the structure. You depend on yourself, and then you build from there. And it takes a special breed to be one of them, So kudos to you.
Thank you.
One of the things that we do on our podcast here is we do a little rapid fire, like a little personal questions. Are you good with that?
Sure.
All right. So, here we go. So, what book are you reading currently?
Oh, man. I got a weird one. We don't have time to get into it, but it's called Dreams of Dragons.
Oh, nice.
He's an interesting writer, Lyle Watson. He's written a series, and I'll just let people look it up.
I love it, man. Very cool. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Pretty much an early bird, but I can grind it out when I need to.
Right.
But yeah, I get up early still.
Okay. Do you have a bucket list travel spot that you haven't checked off yet?
Not really. I got 7 kids. I got 4 grandkids. My second grandson, it's his birthday today, so they're at the house here right now. We're going In-N-Out tonight for dinner. So
there you go.
I just like kicking it with the family. My wife is not a big traveler, so therefore, after 30 years, I've become not a big traveler.
I feel you on that one.
I've been around the world. My son went to this unique college, and I met him. I spent Thanksgiving in London, I think 2017. I met him in India for a week. I met him in Buenos Aires, and we went down to Patagonia for a week.
That's
so
awesome.
That's cool. So going with others is cool, but I don't really need to see anything. And if I see everything, that's cool. If I don't see anything else, that's cool.
Awesome. What type of beverages? Is it coffee, tea, soda, energy drink? What? Just water? What are you drinking?
No energy drinks. I drink black coffee in the morning, a little bit of tea, usually 1 Diet Coke a day.
Yep.
I know everybody's, bad, whatever. Everyone's going to kill us.
Exactly.
I don't smoke or hardly drink any alcohol anymore. If a Diet Coke kills me, then so be it.
I feel you, man. I'm a Coke Zero guy myself. So
I drink a lot of water, but there's issues with too much water.
Mm-hmm.
You need the electrolytes. I train jiu-jitsu 6 days a week, drink a lot of water. I probably need more electrolytes, but I eat a lot of meat. I make sure I salt my food. Not crazy, but you need the sodium. You need the stuff. There's some of these different challenges. Drink a gallon of water a day. Not everybody needs a gallon of water a day,
Yeah.
So you gotta, but we are mostly all dehydrated. So drink more water, but I don't know if you need a gallon of water every day.
Yeah, replenish with the electrolytes is important. So if you had a superpower, what's the one superpower that you would have?
Man, I hate running. I've always hated running, so maybe I'd be like the Flash.
There you go. That's a good call. I like it.
I can say X-ray vision, but we'll keep it PG-13.
Right. I feel you. You answered the cheat meal. You like your In-N-Out and stuff like that. But what's
I
on
don't
your?
really like In-N-Out.
Oh, okay.
The family likes it.
Okay. So what's
I'll
your
eat-
cheat meal?
I'll eat it, but man, I call it in and eventually out.
Fair.
Dude, their lines are outrageous, and I didn't grow up with it, so
No.
it's like I get it. You grow up like I grew up in Texas and Louisiana, and I love Popeye's fried chicken. I love Whataburger.
There you go. There you go.
But I can't. I'm 55 now, man. My body has changed. I've become one of those gluten people. I can't eat it, and so I love pizza, dude. I can eat a whole pizza still.
There you go.
I can't eat it. I can't eat the stuff. I get sick.
Right.
So ice cream is my go-to.
I like it.
Good thing I'm not dairy intolerant, lactose intolerant.
Right.
Got to eat something.
Exactly. Lastly, what's on your workout playlist, man? What gets you hyped?
I am boring, dude. Jiu-jitsu, we don't really listen to music. Well, one instructor, he plays music for us. That reminds me, I'm teaching it. You know what? I'm gonna charge up the pose right now.
There you go.
When I'm at the gym, I don't lift that much anymore because jiu-jitsu takes all my time. But I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of books.
Nice.
I have a very eclectic music. I love old country. George Strait, Clint Black, those guys. But I grew up as well with rock. Van Halen, soft rock like the Eagles, Chicago.
There you go.
Casey and the Sunshine Band. I mean, those
Nice.
kind of jams. I don't know if you can see it. I got the album there. The Doobie Brothers.
There you go.
Stuff like that. But I'll throw in some 80s hair band, guitar rock. I'll listen to that sometimes heading to jiu-jitsu.
Little GNR, little Poison.
Poison, Rat.
Right?
Yeah,
I love it,
Rat's a
man.
good album.
Yeah, they did. Very cool. Well done. Way to get through the rapid fire, my friend. Nice job. Got a couple things.
Professional. Do not try this at home.
I feel you on that, man. That was my whole upbringing. The stuff I did would probably get my kids in juvie by now.
Dude, ain't that the truth? Good. Grief.
Right? Exactly. So now thinking about this a little bit, because we're thinking about our younger days, if you could go back in time and give yourself that when you went into the Air Force Academy, if you could give yourself one piece of advice from who you are today, what would that one piece of advice be?
Nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
We are all just figuring this out. I've never been this age that I am right now, right? You think, you look up, the colonels, the generals, they know that. Dude, I am friends with more than one 3-star general, okay? I'm friends with a lot of 1-star generals. A lot of my friends made it to colonel, 06, and they are all goofballs, man.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
If you could see our text threads, like fantasy football, none of us could ever hold a job ever again with the crap we say to one another.
Oh, yeah.
And so And yeah, over time, yeah, you get experience and you learn from experience, but man, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody has all the answers, so believe in yourself, right? Trust your gut, follow that instinct, and go hard. Don't be worrying about, are you going to make a mistake? In the military and in business, your leaders want somebody to take action.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's wrong, like in football, like I'd play fullback sometimes, like run an I formation or a power I formation, even if I was quarterback, they'd bring in the second string quarterback. I'd step back to the power I. I'd be the extra fullback. Like we just, old school 80s football. Just, we're going to run it down. We're coming to the right. Stop us if you can, just old school smash mouth football. But sometimes like you forget, right? You're running to the left, but you step to the right. And as soon as you step, you realize, oh crap, I'm going the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you're going off guard instead of off tackle. Boom, and you try to adjust, and you have to stop. And in that moment, you cause a backup. Now the tailback runs into your ass. You run into the guard's ass. Now
right.
There's this whole big pile. Now it's a loss of 3.
Yep.
Right, and the coach would say, even if you're going the wrong way, go full speed. Hit somebody in the mouth.
Right.
Okay. So let's say I'm supposed to slide off and catch the backside linebacker, but I don't. But 2 of us hit the strong side backer, crush his face mask in and plant him like a tomato. Okay.
Yep.
That backside backer, he's cheering. Okay, yeah, we lost a couple yards. But now that kid's got to go out, for 2 plays because he can't breathe, know. And now we're like, okay, let's run that one again. Now you got a backup in. Now you blow it up for 20 yards.
Right.
So you can't half-ass it. And I kind of learned that when I was young. I was in the band, like 5th grade, 6th grade. And I remember the band instructor saying, like, if you miss something, pause. Don't try to catch up. You'll mess up the whole band. You gotta, like, oh, you missed a note, pause, see where we're going, jump into the flow.
Right.
So maintain that flow. Go hard. Bring that energy. Take decisive action. Shit'll work out.
Yeah.
But if you stop and look around and pick your nose and ponder life, whatever, like, you've missed the opportunity. So.
Man, I love that. I love that, man. So, I mean, you've had such an amazing time in the military, and then now what you've been doing with the sales side of stuff, man. Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years, man?
Man, just more of the same, bigger, better, faster. I mean, like I said, I got 7 kids. I still got 2 at home. I got 4 grandkids. I'm working on kind of legacy stuff, and it's all a big pivot. I hate that word, but it's appropriate. Like I'm looking around saying, where are things going? I see, I'm telling people I feel like humanity is the next killer app, So I'm working on things to help people, like bring humanity back into their sales and marketing efforts and their leadership efforts. I think people are going to get tired of all the AI stuff. Now, I mean, and I'm a fan of automation, Hell, I wrote this big old book, in Infusionsoft back in 2012. I kept it updated till 2019. It was 600 pages. So
wow.
I'm not anti-technology. And I love tools that take away redundancy and monotonous activities, but I don't use those tools so I can go sit at the pool. I use those tools so I have more time to talk to more people.
Absolutely.
Because you don't need to convince 100 people 1% of the way to do business with you. You need to convince one 100% of the way.
Yeah.
And another. So it's still early days of AI. People are still trying to figure it out. But, I think whoever is the most human is going to win. So, the next 5-10 years, and I was talking to my wife about that. We're doing some financial planning a couple weeks ago, and it's like I don't ever see retiring. I don't want to just go fish and golf. I think that's a big misnomer. I don't think I'll ever live in a 55-plus community. My father-in-law is in one. My mother-in-law, she lived in one. She passed away this year. And it's like, there's some benefits, I get it, but I think, we're able to babysit the grandkids and free up time. So now my daughter and her husband don't have to pay for a babysitter when they try to have a date night. My son's working hard in real estate, and, we can watch the kids when he's doing an open house, and his wife can get some peace and quiet, for a minute, clean the house, take a nap, whatever. So, we're we should be multi-generational, even in our homes, right? But certainly in our communities. You know, old retired firefighter lives across the street, man. He helps us around the house, helps us repair things, and, you know, he's got the time and the patience. And so, you know, I want to stay involved. And I think it keeps you young, too. You know, you go hang out 55 plus, everybody's 70, 80 years old, and it's kind of sad. Like my father-in-law, his neighbors, my wife's the executor trustee for the neighbors. You know, the husband died a year and a half ago. Now the wife just died early this month. I mean, he's got a friend. Her husband just died. I mean, so you're just surrounding yourself with death.
Right.
I mean, it's brutal. You know, it's a fact of life. I get it. But if everybody's kind of dispersed, you don't live your whole, like every year you shouldn't go to 6 funerals.
You know? No, not at all, man.
Neighbors, you know?
Yeah.
Go hang out, watch some kids, play with the dogs, volunteer at the HOA, you know, and bring some wisdom to the young kids getting after it. So,
man,
that's where I see myself in 5 years.
Dude, I absolutely love this conversation. I could talk to you for hours and hours about stuff, man, but really appreciate you sharing your wisdom to the audience today, man, and just sharing your journey. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for our country and everything that you're doing currently, and best of luck with everything moving forward, my friend.
Hey, man, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So once again, thank you, Wes Schaeffer, for coming on the Milpreneur podcast. Really appreciate your time. I'm Ryan Van Orn. This has been another edition of the Milpreneur podcast. Until next time, stay blessed, everyone. Take care.